now we're going to go find out what the survey actually said. So I'm going to turn it over to Amy to share the first section of the study results.
It is important to define employee engagement, but really what we need to know is how do we focus attention there, and how do we prioritize the actions that we can take in an organization to get things done and to change, to make more employees engaged, and to help the organization understand what the payoff of doing that is. Today we see a lot of emphasis being put on customer engagement, customer satisfaction, customer loyalty. And we really have to turn back to the organization and ask them, how are we helping, how are we empowering our employees to deliver that customer experience? What's the how to that? And it has to be much more than the window dressing of employee engagement. Heard a couple of things related to that, the pizza lunch or the special activities. Employee engagement, as you're going to hear from this report and the survey that we did, is much deeper. Employees do want to know how to work, and they do want to know how to be part of their organization. The Build a Better Workplace study modeled this, and it will help you to focus on what matters. HR professionals and senior leaders in organizations, they can't control all the factors that influence an employee to stay or go. But the key is they can influence vital aspects of that experience. They absolutely can influence it through leadership, through communication, and just simply by caring. One of the clear things that we see in the employee engagement studies that we do is the very simple act of communicating what came out of asking the survey has a very positive and direct influence on employee engagement. So not that you asked one more thing of me, but what did you do with the opinions I shared with you? The Build a Better Workplace, it explored the intricate set of relationships employees have at work, the relationships with coworkers, bosses, leaders, customers, but also there's the emotional connection an employee has with their own work, why they're there and what they get out of it. There are a lot of conceptual frameworks that are out there that talk about employee engagement. I'm sure you know them well. There are a lot of very well-founded principles. But what we really needed to understand and what we sought to do in this study is, can we model it? Can we create something that we have benchmarks from that we can use to say, what if we take these actions, what can we expect to happen a year from now? And can we set measurable goals to that? Can we put employee engagement on the balanced scorecard? I think the answer is yes. The heart of employee engagement is in loyalty. It's that aspect of an employee's desire to stay with you through the hard times, through the hard workloads, and be part of something that connects with them. So in order to be engaged, employees not only need to be satisfied or happy with their job, they need to feel involved, and they need enough information to be able to align their efforts to what they're doing. So this morning we're going to look at how to improve engagement, how to prioritize actions, and how to anticipate the impact of your efforts. But first, let's see how engaged employees in Canada are today. Putting Canadian workers on a spectrum of engagement, the study that we did in August found that 27% can be described as highly engaged. These employees are motivated, they feel fulfilled at work, they believe their organization is getting the best out of them, this is key, and that they are willing to recommend their employer as a good place to work. They're often referred to as the stars in the organization. Wouldn't you like to have more of them? How do you do that? Is it just luck? Is it just working on the hiring practices in the organization? Or is there something that you can be doing right now to take the majority of employees who are satisfied, they're engaged, but can you move some of this 50% into engaged? And if you did, what would be the impact? Imagine that maybe because employees are working together, because more of them are engaged, workloads actually go down, even though the amount of work hasn't changed. Now we look at the 23% that are disengaged, and they're certainly a difficult group, and every organization is going to have employees across this spectrum. This is true. But what we can ask ourselves is, can we move people along, and can we address the issues that are within reach, within the power of the organization to tap into these employees? What are the barriers keeping people away from being engaged? With this backdrop, let's move to understand how organizations can drive engagement from within. While there are many areas you can focus on, we actually found that there are 3 places in the work environment. So remember this web of all these intricate relationships. But there are 3 places that we've been able to model that say this is actually where focusing will make a difference. My leader. Managers and supervisors, not surprisingly, have a strong influence on the day-to-day work experience. That's where employees get the mirror and the knowledge and their view. So the direct leaders have a lot of impact on what that experience feels like and looks like for the employee. So thus, understanding how to help leaders lead is critical. And this is an important point because a lot of times organizations will promote the stars through, the people that are very good at doing their job, into leadership positions, but they forgot to teach them how to lead. The second, of course, is senior leaders. These leaders in organizations set the tone. They message the staff even when they're not intentionally communicating, and they need to be told that. They don't always recognize that non-action is a message that employees will interpret. Last, of course, is communications and understanding the impact of communications. What do employees want to hear? How do they expect to hear it? And I can tell you, our research shows it's not all about social media. It's about matching to your organization the right communication tool. That's actually more important, not just jumping on the bandwagon of what the next media outlet is.